Welcome to the Krista Escamilla Show.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to this week's episode of the Krista Escamilla Show. Thanks for sharing your time and happy summer. I hope your summer is treating you well and you're doing something fun. You should do that. You work hard, you play hard, right? I'm so excited to introduce our guest today. But before we do, I want to thank our sponsors. We want to thank Tapestry Hotel Midland, Midland Cap Company, Rig ID Workwear, and joincapclub.com. Support those local businesses however you can. We also want to thank you for liking, for sharing, for subscribing, and also for leaving those 5-star reviews. We really appreciate it. And we hope that when you share our podcast, you're sharing it because you think someone can benefit, someone will enjoy it as much as you have, and that means the world to us. So thank you so much. We want to start off now by introducing our amazing guest, Sara Harris. She is the Executive Director of the Midland Development Corporation. Sara, thank you so much for being with us today.
Well, thank you so much for having me. I'm really looking forward to this.
I am too. I can't wait to hear your story because we've met a few times, but you know, in passing, you really don't get to meet someone and hear their entire story. So today is your day. Tell us all from the beginning. So how did you get to Midland?
I moved here just at 8 years ago. It was to marry my husband. I'd been living in New Mexico, and he said, you know, you should move to Midland and we should make this a full-time deal. So we did.
Fantastic. How did y'all meet?
We met online on OkCupid. It was that long ago Tinder didn't exist yet, so that's what we met on.
I love that story. I love that. See, you never know how you're going to meet your spouse. I met mine on TV. You never know where you're going to meet somebody. I love that. And now, how many years later have you been married? 8 years?
Yeah, we've been married 8 years. We've been together 10 years.
Okay. Yeah. Well, congratulations.
Thank
and 2
you.
Beautiful baby boys. So
Yes.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Well, let's hear a little bit about your background. Where did you go to school? And what is your way you got to the executive director of MDC?
Yeah, so, well, I grew up in New Mexico, north of Hobbs, kind of halfway between Hobbs and Clovis in Lee County. My family homesteaded there back in 1903, so had land and a ranch there for quite a while. My dad decided to break off from the ranching tradition and open a tree nursery. So he started to grow trees and shrubs back in the 70s.
That's cool.
A while before I was born. So I grew up in the nursery. I grew up working with my dad. Send me out in the mornings in the summer pulling weeds from the age of about 7, which I didn't love. I would love it now, but I did
Right.
not love it at the time. And then I went to school at Texas Tech. So I lived in Lubbock several years. And then I moved back after I graduated, worked with my dad. We owned and operated several businesses, the nursery and then a couple other businesses. And I met my now husband in 2013, as we talked about. And at that time, my dad and I were selling off 2 of our businesses. And I said, I'm sorry, but I think I'm going to move to Midland. And he said, okay, I guess I'll let you go.
Oh, I love that. And I love that he had you doing the business from the ground up, because I think that's important. What did you learn during that time from pulling weeds to selling the business?
Yes, well, definitely the virtue of hard work, being able to be self-guided, not somebody standing over you all the time telling you what to do, how valuable people's time is. So as a small business owner, your time is currency, and I always try to be respectful of people's time now because I know you have so little of it and you have to use it wisely. And then also I would say just being outside, doing the work outside, and being able to be in nature a lot is something that I valued at the time.
I love that. And this really has helped you, I'm sure, with doing what you're doing today. Let's talk a little bit about MDC and what it is your role is there, because being on the other side of a business too, right? You see such the value in all the businesses that you help support.
Yeah, absolutely. So one of the things I love the most about MDC in Midland is a sense of community. So growing up on a ranch, it was pretty isolated. Of course, we had family and we had customers and that network, but there was really no close neighbors. You can't call on someone necessarily. It wasn't part of a town or community. So it was isolated in that sense.
Like, how many people lived in your town where you were at?
No one.
No one. It was just y'all.
In
It was
the middle of nowhere.
y'all.
Yes. So
Okay.
aside from some family who lived nearby, there wasn't anyone else.
Wow.
And then in Lubbock, you're kind of part of the student community, but not necessarily because you're just focused on your studies. You're a student. It's not as much as part of the larger Lubbock community. So that was the biggest change when I moved to Midland, was just recognizing all the relationships, how people work together, how the organizations work together, and seeing how those sync up and how everything comes together for a whole to create the city. And I've enjoyed that so much, knowing how the city works, how the different businesses work within the city, how the economy of the region works. And I also really like being able to, somebody has a problem and I say, well, I know who you should call. So here's that person, here's their contact info, they can help you out with that. So it's great, just the sense of community and everyone being in it together.
And I love that about Midland. Everyone's willing to help everyone else out.
It is.
It's not that, and I'm sure everyone's going, well, there was that one instance. There's always the exception to the rule. But for the most part, everybody's willing to help everybody out. And if you can't, we've had customers come in, and if we don't have what they're looking for, we will call our, I hate to say competitors, but I'll just say our colleagues and say, hey, do you have this? Okay, great. We're sending over one of our customers, because I would rather have them get what they want and what they need. And if we're out of it, I still want them to get what they want or need.
Especially locally, and support local businesses.
Exactly. So I love that. And I want to talk a little bit, what did you get your degree in at Tech?
Business management.
Business management. And I think that, Tech is, I want to shout out to all of our Red Raiders fans out there. I love the community that Lubbock has, because our girls are there. They're at LCU. I love how much the Lubbock community also supports Midland and vice versa.
Right, yes.
I see a big, there is a lot of, just kind of commonality there and working together and supporting each other that I have not really even seen with big, I don't know, Dallas and Fort Worth may do it. I'm not sure, but I feel like they do really help each other out. Do you work with them as well in Lubbock?
Well, we have family in Lubbock, and certainly there's work but synergies between the different economic development organizations, but MDC's primary focus is Midland.
Right here.
Yeah.
Fantastic. Let's talk a little bit about MDC, what MDC can do for your business or for our community, or maybe even how you can help support MDC. So what is the best way to do that?
Absolutely. So the Midland Development Corporation was voted on by Midland voters back in 2002, so 21 years ago.
I remember the day.
When Mike Cannon was mayor.
Yes.
So it was created to help strengthen and diversify Midland's economy. So how we do that is with 1/4% of the sales tax that's collected within the city limits of Midland. Those funds are utilized for initiatives like workforce, education, healthcare, infrastructure, and then also bringing in new businesses that are looking to relocate or expand, and helping existing businesses grow within Midland. So MDC is overseen by a board of directors of 7 members from the community. Those are appointed by city council. So MDC's board are volunteers. We're super grateful for their time and all those community members. And then what we do and what the MDC Board of Directors decides on in terms of expending funds or activities is then approved by City Council. So ultimately, all the decisions go back to those elected officials who are responsible to the voters.
Okay, so you see, so people either come to you, or you see where the need is needed. You bring it to council, council then votes, and then voila, they get the help.
Yes, it might take
You see how easy that is? You see how I just got to voila?
Over a couple of years, that's exactly how it works.
Okay, so who would benefit the most? Like, are you looking for big businesses to reach out to, small businesses? How does that work?
We like to help everyone. So for smaller and local businesses, we have a business recruitment and expansion program where we have a staff member, Sammy Steele Thomas, who goes out and visits one-on-one with businesses, locally owned businesses here in Midland, talks about what their pain points are, if they're looking to grow, if there's anything that we can do to help connect them with municipal, county, state resources. And then we also work with small businesses through the Midland Entrepreneurial Challenge. So that's a program that has been ongoing since 2018 that we do in conjunction with the University of Texas Permian Basin and the Small Business Development Center. And that is essentially Shark Tank for small businesses. It's a business plan competition where anyone who owns a business in Midland can go enter their business, submit their business plan, say how they want to grow or expand, and then a panel of independent judges chooses what they consider to be the 5 best out of those, and then they receive a cash prize of $100,000 to $150,000 to help grow their business here in Midland.
That is fantastic. And I've loved watching those businesses that have won through the years. I've loved watching their businesses flourish and grow.
Yeah.
To me, that has been a fun, I'm just a watcher, right? I'm just a viewer of how it has really helped, fellow business owners. And I think it's fantastic because what I've heard from some of the recipients of the award is they really learned a lot through the process because of having to create their business plan, having to really sit down and know their numbers. It really, I think, is such a benefit to our community. And so I love that that's, part of what MDC does.
Yeah, we love to be able to help those smaller businesses that way. And there have been some winners. I think most people in Midland will recognize Eccentric Brewing has won, Top Line Care Pharmacy. I just Most Wanted Waste Disposal won back in, I think, 2018. I just saw them driving through town and waved. I don't know if they recognized me, but I recognize them.
I love that. What do you think that, because I can tell you what I've heard from some of the winners, but what have the response been from some of the ones that have been selected? What have they said, how it changed their lives?
Well, it really helps them to grow and expand business with that seed funding because it's, interest free, so they can identify what they need in terms of capital spending or even additional employees and deploy those funds directly. So I know it's been super helpful for that. And then in terms of encouraging people to come to the area and stay, knowing that a program like that is available to support small business is a really helpful tool. We want to be a business-friendly community, and we are, but there are barriers to entry for any business, and if we can help especially small businesses cross that threshold, then we're doing the right thing.
I love that. Give me your number one best business tip. If someone's going to come in and start a business right now, what would you tell them?
Oh boy. Make sure you have your workforce lined up because that's a challenge.
How are you seeing the business owners of our area meet that need?
It's difficult. So Midland has the lowest unemployment rate of any city in the state, and one of the lowest unemployment rates of any city in the nation. Of course, we're seeing low unemployment nationwide. So business owners that work to create a relationship with their employees, who nurture them and who provide them with, the benefits that they need and are good bosses, they can keep employees.
Yes.
So it's just all about that personal relationship, the managerial style, and
if someone's living somewhere else in the world, because we do have listeners all over the world, thank you, listeners all over the world, how would you explain the difference between the workforce here and the workforce in other places?
So Midland is a city of opportunity. So median wages in Midland tend to be higher because of the energy industry. That's the core of our economy. We love the oil and gas industry. It's the backbone of our economy.
Yes.
But there's a lot of opportunity. So people come here looking for that. Higher wages, maybe a quicker path to promotion. So I'd say the difference is people here hustle hard. There's an atmosphere of hustle in Midland that I would say is more comparable to a larger city.
I agree.
Just in terms of the deals being done, the opportunities that are available. So people come for the wages, and they're aware that they can use those skills in other businesses. So you've got to be a good employer to keep your people.
That is so true. And I think good employee and a good employer, right? I mean, it goes both ways, but there is such great economic opportunity here that I feel like as a business owner, it can be hard, right, to compete with some of those wages that they can earn in the oil field. But if you can kind of make it competitive, but make that workplace fun and supported and where they feel valued. I
Yes.
think that's important for, for team members to feel that their voice is heard, that they are valued, even if they aren't getting the competitive wages elsewhere.
Absolutely.
Is also
People quit
key.
workplaces and managers. They don't quit jobs, and I know that's said a lot, but it's true.
Yeah, I love it. Say it again. It's a good one. No, you can't say it enough, but it is so true. Absolutely. We're going to take a quick break. We do quote of the day. So for those of you that are maybe just tuning in, or you're on your run and you're like, hey, what am I listening to? Hey, you're listening to the Krista Escamilla Show, and we are talking to Sara Harris. She's the executive director of the Midland Development Corporation, and we're glad you're listening today. So thanks for being with us. We're doing our quote of the day now because I love quotes, and I love to hear how they affect other people. So go ahead and pick one out. We'll see what you get. And you got the invent card, which is great for what you do. So go ahead and read the back, see what it says.
If you look closely, most overnight success took a long time. Steve Jobs.
Yes, good quote. What does that quote mean to you?
It means a lot. So whenever we're bringing projects forward, bringing businesses in, helping out businesses, most thing the public gets to see is just when it's done or when it's announced. But a lot of that has been between 1 year and 5 years, between identifying the project, working through it, bringing it to fruition. So it's a long process, and a huge part of that is building the relationship with the people you're working with.
Yeah, that is a perfect card for you. I love that. So yeah, you can just put it. We can put it right here. Thank you. Tell me what your favorite quote is. Do you have a favorite quote you live by, or something that kind of has inspired you in your life?
So this isn't a quote from a famous person, and I'm not exactly sure of its origin, but it's something my great-grandfather said a lot, and it's been passed down in the family. He would say, a winner never quits and a quitter never wins.
I love that.
And it's, pretty parochial, but it has a lot of wisdom in it. You just got to press through.
Absolutely. Or like Dory said, just keep swimming.
Yes.
Yes, I love that. No, that's one of my favorite. I actually grew up competing in talent competitions, and my mom's a dance teacher. Hi, Mom. Just want to say hi, Mom. And one of the pageant systems that we were involved in, that was their slogan, was a winner never quits and a quitter never wins. And I think it taught so many young women at that time to never give up. And I love that because it is, like you said, it's so simple. It's a simple quote, but it means so much because you can't ever give up. So
Exactly.
Love that. Thanks for sharing that, Sarah. Tell me what you love about your job.
Yeah, so I mentioned that I love the sense of community and how all the pieces of Midland work together to make a whole. I really enjoy knowing how the city works and having a better understanding of where do we get our water and all the things that I don't have to personally worry about, but I still love knowing about.
Yes.
And then my other favorite part is I have 7 bosses on my board of directors, and then there are also 7 members of city council who ultimately have to decide on what we bring to them. So it's challenging at times, but I really enjoy it because I get to learn so much from every single one of them. I don't just have one boss or one mentor or one person that I'm kind of looking to. I get 14 people and they change. And I've had the opportunity to learn from so many great people, Wesley Bounds, Brent Hilliard, Keith Stretcher, Stephen Lowry, those, past board chairs or board members,
Yes.
not to mention everyone on city council. So that's really valuable. I love just the constant learning process from everyone.
I was going to say, the amount of wisdom that you can really learn from them. You even mentioned Barry Simpson today.
Yes, he's on the board now.
I mean, just to learn from those leaders in our community, is there something that stands out that one of them has taught you, or that you've really gone, oh, that made so much sense? Because I'm sure they're just like throwing wisdom at you, like you're playing ball with the kids. Like it's just, I could just see being in one of those meetings, how much you would learn.
There's so much. I could sit here all day, but Stephen Lowry, financial wizard, he has put together with me some Excel models, and I say with me, he's given them to me and showed me how to use them. But just getting to go through those and look at them for financial modeling for projects was invaluable, and how he analyzed things from the financial viewpoint is incredibly helpful. And I don't want to overlook anyone else because they've all been great, but that was the first that came to mind.
I love that. What advice would you give to someone that is maybe looking to get into the economic development system as you are? Because you said that is this something that's everywhere in the country, or is it something just we have localized here?
So most states have some mechanism for economic development. In some states, it's localized within the state government, and then they push it out to smaller cities. In Texas, it's very decentralized. So each city gets to decide how it wants to handle economic development, whether that's through a sales tax, which a lot of cities in Texas do, or some other mechanism. And that's another aspect to bring in. So the Office of the Governor has a Department for Economic Development and Tourism with a great staff, great team. When they get companies that are looking to expand or relocate in Texas, they get those projects and they push them out statewide. And then it's just up to each individual municipality to kind of put themselves forward and offer up for that. So it's decentralized, and it's every city for itself in that sense.
So if you had to give some advice to someone that is maybe thinking about going into what you're doing, do you have any advice on maybe what to study, or maybe some tips on how they could get into what you're doing?
I've met so many economic developers, and none of them have one specific commonality of what they've studied. I mean, there are former attorneys, there are a lot of business people, there's people who've been in, HR, even medicine. I would say being interested in your community and being interested in how business works and how it grows and succeeds, and being interested in people. Yeah. If you have those factors, then I think anybody can do it.
Yeah, okay.
It's the interest.
Yes, the interest to want to see your community grow and businesses flourish, and so that's kind of the desire that they would need to have.
Exactly.
Okay, fantastic. We're going to do I like to really shout out local businesses, because and I want to also, before we do that, I want to say what a gem I think you have in Sammy Steele, because she is doing that. She shouts out businesses online, and I love that, because I feel like businesses can't get enough local support. We, of course, our local business ourselves here, so we love to see other local businesses flourish, but I love that somebody is pouring into that avenue of it. So great job, Sammy. I love what you're doing. Keep up the good work. But I want to shout out some local businesses, and I want to just ask your favorites. So we do a fun thing called Favorite Things. So I'm just going to ask you some favorite things. You just put whatever comes to mind first. And it doesn't mean you don't love them all, because I know, because I feel the same way. Favorite restaurant in Midland?
I really love King and I.
Oh, isn't it good?
Yeah.
I know. I love King and I too. And if you haven't tried it, I mean, it's such a good, healthy food option. People always say, oh, you can't eat fast food and be healthy. You can. They're there. And King and I is...
And I love that it's in an old Taco Bell. So
Me
much
too.
nostalgia. That's what Taco Bells looked like when I was a kid. I just like going in there.
That's so true. I love that. Oh God, I grew up on Taco Bell too. So my mom, a fellow business owner, like your dad, you're saying. So her dance studio was right next to a Taco Bell for about a good 10 years, I want to say, at that location. So I ate a lot of Taco Bell.
Mexican pizza.
Every single day. But it's so good. Okay, I love that. Shout out to King and I. Favorite coffee shop?
Far West.
Far West.
Yes.
Far West.
We get that a lot.
We do. We've had a lot of people shout out Far West. So hi, Far West. That makes me want to go there actually right now. So I might have to go do that. So with that said, before we go into some more favorites, Founders Club. I don't want us to forget to talk about Founders Club. Speaking of coffee,
Yes.
So we'll circle back to that. So favorite. Oh, let's go with favorite book.
Oh boy. Okay. So there is a very long biography of Robert Moses, who was a city planner / unelected bureaucrat who accrued a lot of power. It's called The Power Broker.
Okay.
He, in effect, was the architect of a lot of what we think of in New York in terms of road infrastructure, huge building projects, parks. And it's a story of how one person with a lot of ambition got a lot done, some of it good, some of it bad, but it's really fascinating.
But I think you can learn from the good and the bad, right?
Yeah.
Absolutely. Okay, I love that. Thank you. Favorite podcast?
This podcast.
Thank you, Sarah. I did not pay her to say that. I just wanted to say that. No, I appreciate that. Thank you. Favorite, let's see. Oh, favorite, I just lost. Favorite park? That's what I was going to ask. I was like, I knew I had a city question. Favorite park? Because you and I were talking about kids' parks.
Yeah.
We're like, how do you, because, we have 4 kids. She's got little ones. I was like, I tried to find every free thing to do with the kids over the summer. So do you have a favorite park here in Midland?
Well, we live close to the duck pond, Wadley Barren, so we spend a lot of time out there. But my son would probably say Dennis the Menace, especially in the summer whenever the water features are on. He loves that.
Dennis the Menace is so cool. So you're too young for this, but when our kids were young, we would take them to the old Dennis the Menace park, and it was one of those where it just brought back such nostalgia, right? And you just felt like, oh, this is the park that, like that you grew up playing it. And it was fun to see the kids play on that. But the new Dennis, my kids are too big now, but I should take them anyway. Wouldn't that be fun? That'd be a fun picture. Yeah, we might go to the Sandhills. That is one of our favorite. Have you done that with the kids yet?
Not with the kids. But.
So much fun. Mm-hmm. And yours, I think yours would really enjoy it. You're their ages, they would really enjoy it. But the Sandhills Park is just amazing. Graffa Park too, so good. But I love that. Dennis the Menace. Favorite, if you were gonna tell someone, oh, there's one thing you have to do when you get to Midland. What is it? What would that one thing be?
The Petroleum Museum and the Museum of the Southwest are great. And then the Downtown Farmers Market, it's iconic Midland. It's just a great activity.
I love that. And Museum of the Southwest, Lori Wesley, shout out to Lori, has done such an amazing job there. The Kids Museum, everything, just the Sundays in the park, with the music, and there is so much to do. Anyone that says there's nothing to do in Midland, right? There, you have to go. Yes, there is.
I always lead with that. I say, well, have you been there? And people say no. Well, you need to go figure it out.
Very good, very good. Okay, we have question of the day now. It's about 20 after, maybe a little bit more. So this is just a random question. We mix them up a little, so hopefully we won't get one that maybe the last guest answered. And you just answer the first thing that comes to your mind.
How do you set goals?
Ooh, good one.
That's a good question. I have goals, and they mostly emerge organically from projects and ambitions that I'm already working on. And it's like, well, what if we think about it that way? And what if we could do that? So
right. Okay, very good. So really yours just kind of comes out
it's kind of an organic gestalt process.
It evolves. Yeah. It evolves. What is your goal for the city of Midland? Like if you had to say, oh, this is what, if I could look 20 years down the road, how would I want the city, the impact that I've made on MDC, how would that look for you?
Yeah, well, I'll tell you. So my husband has 3 siblings. Okay. And they all grew up here in Midland. They were all born here, and they have all married people not from Midland and convinced all 4 spouses to move to Midland.
They did a good job. Good job, Harris family.
Well, it's the Latham. It's
the Latham family. Okay,
yes.
Good job getting them all to come here.
Yeah, so now there are 8 grandchildren.
Okay.
What I want to happen is I want for those 8 cousins in 20 years when they're looking at building their careers to have a compelling reason to all stay in Midland. Because the city is still growing, it's dynamic, it's got a strong economic base, and it's appealing for young people in 20 years. So that's what drives me from day to day.
That is fantastic, because that is a good purpose, really, for what you do. And I think we're going in that direction. I'm starting to hear more people, one of our kids included, that wants to come back and live here. And I think that is a great goal because it is such a great place for you to raise your family. I can't imagine raising our family anywhere else. We have been so supported, I should say, not supportive. We support others too, but supported by the golf community, by the education community, by the business community, by everyone that I love. I just love what this community can do for families and for people to live their dreams. Because to me, I want everybody to live their dream and everyone's dream to come true. And you can make it happen here.
You can.
Yeah, truly. What nonprofit organization, we always like to shout out a nonprofit at the end of our show. What nonprofit would you really like to shine a light on today?
I'd love to mention Casa de Amigos. So they're not too far from here. Yes. I'm honored to serve on their board, and it's such a gem and an asset for the community, what they do. I love participate in any way I can, and love that organization.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for shouting that out. And we make a donation on behalf of our show. So we'll make a donation to Casa de Amigos on behalf of the Krista Escamilla Show for that. So thank you so much. Is there anything today that we haven't gotten to talk about, Sarah, that you're like, oh, I really wish people would know this about Midland or about your story and your journey that you would like to share with our viewers before we wrap things up today?
Sure. Well, I would like to say that the Midland Development Corporation does work to bring in new businesses to Midland. We worked with Bass Pro Shops and some new retail out on 191 and then aerospace. But we also work with local businesses. We touched on that with small businesses and kind of supporting them. But local businesses that are interested in expanding and growing, especially in manufacturing, distribution, anything in that area. Please, local business owners, don't feel excluded. Reach out. We try to reach out, but I know we can't cover everyone.
Right. My husband raised his hand, by the way. So he'd like to talk to you after the podcast.
Absolutely. So we are here to help existing businesses, not just the big fish that we're looking to lure in. We want to also nurture and grow what we have here in Midland.
And I think that's good to know, because I think in the past, maybe 20 years ago, when it first started, I just remember hearing about big business. So I love that you're focusing on the smaller businesses as well, or medium-sized businesses.
Got to do both.
Yeah, absolutely. And thanks for bringing in Bass Pro Shop. My 14-year-old and my husband will be there a lot. Where is it going to be?
It will be on 191, north of 191, and then kind of south of 158. So
I was right. Thanks. I wasn't going to say I was right until you said I was right.
Just west of 158.
Okay, fantastic. Oh, and you said some other shops are coming in. Can you give us like a little sneak peek? Can you tell us some exclusive information, Sarah, today that nobody else knows, that we can be like, hey, we knew first?
Well, there will be an entertainment component to that development. So movie theater with some, other assets like bowling, brewery. So that will be exciting too.
Any names you want to throw out there? The golf? The
four golf.
Oh, yeah, there's been rumors of that. Or not rumors, I think they're confirmed. That we're supposed to get something like a Top Golf, correct? Is that, do you know anything?
Can neither confirm nor deny.
Cannot confirm or deny. So maybe it has not been confirmed yet. But we're hoping. So we're a huge golf family. And so we would love to see something like that come in. So hopefully that comes to fruition. But I think what's exciting is that there is so much for families to do, because that is, as a parent, and I know that you feel the same way, you want to make sure that your kids are and not always entertained, right? They need to know what to do with downtime as well, but they also need something to do as they become teenagers, and they have to have healthy outlets, right? Exactly. And that to me is what something like a Top Golf or something, the entertainment center and bowl. I love to bowl. I don't think my kids love to bowl with me.
They don't like getting beat.
Yeah, but I love to bowl. It's so much fun, and I'm not very good. I don't even know why they think that. But I think anything that is positive and encouraging and you can have fun with, anything we can bring to West Texas like that, I think, all the more reason why people will want to stay. We
want to make sure that, or at least try to help people stay here in Midland and not feel like they have to leave every weekend.
Yes, absolutely. Let's keep the dollars here.
Yes.
All right. And the people.
Exactly.
Because you keep the people, you keep the dollars. Sarah, this has been so much fun getting to know you more and for you to share this information. If people want to reach out to you, Midland Development Corporation, if they want to talk to you more about how you can maybe work together with them in their business, how do they do that?
Sure. So our website is a great place to start, midlandtexasedc.com, or our main line is 432-686-3579. My email is sharris@midlandtxedc.com. Happy to reach out, talk to, sit down and meet with anybody.
Fantastic. Well, thank you for sharing today. Anything else you want to say? This is your chance. Here's your platform. Tell us anything.
Well, thank you so much for having me. This has been so fun. And it's awesome that there are local podcasts and media outlets that are serving our community and getting Midland out there beyond our community too. So thank you so much.
Oh, you're welcome. Thank you. Oh, and Founders, the Founders Blend. We were going to circle back. Let's shout that out real quick and invite the community.
Yes, so Founders Blend is a group by businesses, for businesses. Small businesses get together once a month, first thing in the morning at 8 a.m. for coffee conversations, and then a short presentation from 2 different locally owned businesses. It's hard. It can be isolating to have a small business and to start it. You feel like you're just working 24 hours a day and no support. So
You're preaching to the choir. You're preaching to the choir, Sarah.
it's an opportunity to and be involved with and build that kind of community that
Yes.
Midland is so good at offering. But this is precisely for those business owners to come in, share, network, and then hear from a couple presentations. So
Yes.
if you're interested in attending, it's the second Wednesday of every month at 8 a.m. We've had the first couple meetings at Second Story Co-working downtown. They're our partners. Shout out the other partners, UTPP, Midland College, Midland Chamber of Commerce, BAM Consulting. But the meetings will be moving in the future,
Okay.
so around town for different areas, so different people have better access to them. But follow Founders Blend on social media, Facebook,
Great.
Instagram. We're pushing everything out there.
Fantastic. Well, thank you for doing that, because it is important for other business owners to feel supported, because you do feel like and it's all encompassing. You do it at 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, and you don't always have the opportunity to reach out and maybe ask another fellow business owner, hey, what have you done in this instance? And that seems to me like a very inviting environment to do so. And
Very
so,
low pressure. Just
yes.
come in, have a cup of coffee, talk to some people, and head out.
Speaking of coffee, I smell coffee here. There's some brewing. I knew it. I'm gonna go get a cup right now. Hopefully you're drinking a cup right now. But we thank you for your time. And Sarah, thank you so much for being with us today and enlightening us a little bit about MDC, sharing your story and how people can, really benefit from MDC and all the great things that it's doing for our community. So thank you for your time. Appreciate you.
Absolutely. Thank you.
And if you would like to share this with someone that you love or you feel can benefit from it, we appreciate you doing that. Thank you so much. We're on all the podcast platforms. If you want to watch us, just so we can smile at you, because I think a smile says a lot, right? So if you want to watch us, you can watch on YouTube. You can also listen to us, because I know you're busy and you're traveling or you're running around town doing errands. We're on Apple, Google Play, Samsung, all the places you can find the Krista Escamilla Show. And thank you so much. Of course, thank you to our sponsors, Tapestry Hotel Midland, Midland Cap Company, Rig ID Workwear, and JoinCapClub.com. We appreciate you and your support. So hopefully if you're listening and you like what you hear, you can support those local businesses. What else is going on? Oh, don't forget to dream big, believe. That's right. Those are my mottos: dream big, believe, and never give up. And I like what Sarah said today: a winner never quits and a quitter never wins. Very, very true. Thanks for joining us. You make it a great day.